Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rain. If you didn't know that already, welcome. Hi. And if not, welcome back. Today I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite makeup application techniques. It's called foiling. If you already know what foiling is and you've been watching my videos, you've definitely seen me do it a couple times. And if not, this will probably explain some things that I do with my makeup. Foiling is using a wet brush, whether it's wet before or after you load it up with product, inside of a powder product to change the effect of it. For the most part, I suggest only doing this technique with, this technique really only has the effect that we're going for with shimmery, light reflective, sparkly, glittery products. And with matte products, unless they're a cake formula, it actually does more harm than good. So this technique, as I was saying, is used to bring out more sparkle in a product or to bring out more color in a product. It does this by minimizing the powderiness in a powder shimmer product and making all of the reflective particles lay flat so that they look brighter and less muted. There's a lot of ways that you can do this technique. You can wet your brush beforehand by spraying it and dipping it into the product. You can dip your brush into something like a mixing medium and then dip it into the product. You can wet the product and dip your brush into it, or you can do what I prefer to do, and that is to load the product onto your brush and then spritz the brush after. The reason why I think that this is the better way to do this is because you have no chance of destroying or ruining the product that you're using. Some products are completely fine with being dipped into like that, and some products will be totally ruined for the rest of their life, and it's a lot easier to not make that mistake by just doing it the same way with everything. So now I'm going to be showing you the effects of foiling by putting shadows beside each other. I forgot to mention one other benefit to having using this technique is that when you're trying to build up sparkle in something, if it's powdery and you finish the rest of your makeup and you're trying to like load up the sparkle just in the middle of your eye, it won't get any fallout because all the powder is kind of contained into the moist brush bristles. You won't get glitter all over your face like you can sometimes when trying to load up sparkle products. So I think the best technique to use when you're doing this with a eyeshadow, where you're trying to really build up intensity in both sparkle and color, is to be doing it with a flat brush. This is a larger size sort of flat brush. This is as big as I would go with this. This would be if you wanted to cover the entire eyelid area or bigger with that product. If you're just trying to concentrate this in a single area, it's actually better to go for something a lot smaller like this and a lot thinner. It doesn't have a lot of give to it. It's going to really focus the product where you want to put it. I'm going to use the larger one because we're going to be doing this on my hand, and I really want to show the effect of it. So first I'm going to be showing you what this technique does with a product like this or this. These are sparkly eyeshadows from Stila. These eyeshadows are really beautiful, but if you use them dry, they have very little payoff. I'm actually going to prime my hand so we can at least see that. My Wet n Wild eyeshadow primer. I don't want to be wasting product from my expensive primers, quite frankly. Okay, so I'm going to be applying this onto the back of my hand in a line. So if we take a product like, I'm not going to use this one here because this one is very hard to see. I'm going to use this one here because the darker pigments are easier to see. So I'm going to be loading my brush up with this product. I'm really trying to get it into the bristles, and I'm just going to apply it by itself. And you can see while I'm applying it, all this fallout is kind of kicking everywhere. And you can't just pat a product like this in because it's literally just not going to stick. You kind of have to work it in whether you're foiling it or not. And this is the effect that you get. It has a medium to full level of pigmentation for an eyeshadow. You're definitely getting that gold reflection in there, but you're also getting a lot of fallout. And when you try to wipe that fallout away, it leaves these awful little lines. So I'm going to show you the technique now by loading up this product. I probably could have tapped my last brush off. That would have helped a little bit with the fallout. And then we're going to take a facial mist. This one here is totally eye safe. I've used it 1,000 times. You can literally do this with water, spray toners, as long as there's no alcohol in it. Facial mists, setting sprays, whatever. As long as it's safe for the eye area, it is safe for this. And you're going to spritz the brush. You don't want it soaked. You just want it wet. And using that same technique by smushing it into my hand, you see we've got a lot more pigmentation. You can't see my skin through where we placed it, and you can see a lot more of that gold glitter. It is a lot better of a look, and I think with any product like that, if you want impact, you really do have to do this technique. Next with those are a lot more like glittery, multi-dimensional shadows. Let me show you how this looks with a frost. I'm going to be going into this Frost Gold. I'm going to apply it right beside where we did before. Again, lots of fallout, yay. Lots of wasted product. That's part of the reason why I hate fallout so much, because it's literally just the biggest wasted product ever. Next, I'm going to spritz this, and I'm actually probably going to be going off to where there's little to no primer. Oh yeah. And I'm just tapping and dragging. And you can see the difference is very noticeable. You got a full-on gold sparkle there, and it really looks like a metallic. You've got kind of a solid sort of block of very sparkly color. There is no variance in the sparkles. It's all uniform. So that's the way that a frost or a metallic is going to look, versus something that has some particles that are smaller, some particles that are bigger, like these glittery pressed shadows. This technique can also be applied to highlighters. There's not really many other products. The less shimmer in a product, the less sort of bright and sparkly it's going to get, and the more like just a bit of a metallic it's going to look. So I have these products here that are all sort of shimmers. They don't have as much sort of impact. They're not super crazy sparkly. They just have like a sheen to it. The effect that foiling has on these is similar to this, the metallic, but a lot more sort of subdued. It's just sort of a general enhancement to the color. But yes, this works really well on products that don't give you a lot of pigmentation, but it's also really great on highlighters. One technique I really love to do to give a multi-dimension highlight across the face is to use a more sheer glow, like this Wet n Wild highlighter from the Fergie collection. This highlight isn't very intense. It doesn't give you this crazy bold glow. But if you do this on all the highlighting places and a couple more places, like you kind of just do a general glow all over the face with this, and then you just go in specifically with it on areas you want to bump up that highlight. You have the same color for highlight everywhere, but some places it's just a lot more intense, and you didn't have to apply a ton of product. So I'm going to show you that effect by loading this brush up with the highlighter, and I'm going to do it on my shoulder because it's more like my face skin. There, and you can see this highlight is very natural. It's not, can you even see that? It's not crazy intense. It's really beautiful for a natural glow. And again, I'm going to be loading my brush up with this product, and I'm just going to spritz it twice, and then I'm going to put it right beside there. You see so much more dimension to this color. You see areas with larger particles, areas with smaller particles. You can actually see the color of the highlighter, and the reflection it gives is very intense. These lights being so bright doesn't actually do very much justice to highlights, surprisingly. But yeah, you can definitely notice the difference between this little bit of glow, natural sparkle here versus this very intense metallic highlight. And if you ever pick yourself up a highlighter that is more affordable and maybe doesn't give you that kind of impact that you're looking for, this is a really great way to get more money out of it, or more usage out of it, just get more out of it. I hope learning about foiling has given you an idea on how to get more out of the products that you're using, or maybe if you've tried something and you thought that it wasn't giving you enough sparkle, enough color, maybe this will give you a little bit of a hand making that work a little bit better for you. I would love to see how you use foiling in your makeup looks. Feel free to let me know what videos you've done with this technique down in the comments. Please like and subscribe. I will see you guys later. Bye bye. Today I'm going to be talking about alright. I'm just going to be using my Wet n Wild because